Hello everyone, welcome back to At Horror Unraveled Movie Explains. On this channel, we break down dark, disturbing, and mysterious horror movies in full detail so you don't miss a single point. Today's story revolves around organ trafficking, human statues, and a man blessed and cursed with an impossible healing ability. So sit back and let's begin. Dong-soo is a handsome and striking young man with a strange regenerative power. One day, while walking down the street and singing a song he composed himself, his life suddenly takes a horrifying turn. Out of nowhere, an organ trafficking gang kidnaps him and takes him to a hidden surgical facility. There, a surgeon brutally cuts open Dong-soo's body and begins removing his organs one by one. Despite being on the verge of death, Dong-soo remains conscious and witnesses everything happening to him. The surgeon removes both of Dong-soo's eyes and places them on a metal tray before stepping out to take a phone call. Suddenly, something unnatural happens. Dark, tentacle-like structures emerge from inside Dong-soo's body, and his wounds slowly begin healing on their own. When the surgeon returns, he is horrified to see Dong-soo alive. Dong-soo calmly picks up one of his eyes and places it back into its socket. As he searches for his second eye, the surgeon panics and calls his goons. Before they can capture him, Dong-soo escapes. However, his missing eye is secretly transplanted into another man. A few days later, in the same city, a bizarre incident shocks everyone. A beautiful female statue suddenly appears in the middle of the city. People gather around it, staring at it in amazement. They feel strangely attracted to it because of its incredible beauty. A few days later, in the same city, a bizarre incident shocks everyone. A beautiful female statue suddenly appears in the middle of the city. People gather around it, staring at it in amazement. They feel strangely attracted to it because of its incredible beauty. As people start clicking photos, they suddenly notice blood dripping from the statue. This reveals the horrifying truth: the statue is not made of stone or clay. It is actually a living human who has been turned into a statue. The news spreads quickly, and the police arrive at the scene. Officer Young investigates the statue for several hours and discovers 2 letters carved onto it: P and L. Meanwhile, Dong-soo is shown living a hidden and anonymous life. He covers his missing eye with a bandage. The incident has left him deeply traumatized. One night, while practicing the song he composed, Dong-soo suddenly feels intense pain in the eye that is missing. He then sees a strange astrological vision that includes the same PL symbol seen on the human statue. Nearby, sketches and materials reveal the truth: Dong-soo's missing eye has been transplanted into another man, allowing Dong-soo to see everything that man sees. The next day, Dong-soo goes to his job at a scrapyard. There, he sees his old friend being beaten by scammers who came to cheat him. Dong-soo tries to help, but he ends up getting beaten himself. One of the attackers pulls out a knife and swings it at Dong-soo to scare him away. Dong-soo does not move at all. The blade slices off his ear, which falls to the ground. Terrified by what they have done, the criminals immediately run away. Dong-soo calmly picks up his ear and reattaches it using his mysterious healing ability. At the same time, the organ trafficking gang begins searching for Dong-soo again. They know that every part of his body is extremely valuable because no matter how badly it is damaged, it heals completely. His body could be worth billions on the black market. As Dong-soo leaves the area, people stare at him in fear because of how strange he looks. After returning home, he tries to work on his song again, but realizes he has forgotten the lyrics. He starts replaying the song to practice. At the same time, the man who has Dong-soo's missing eye is also shown listening to the same song, and suddenly, his eye begins to hurt intensely. After this, Dong-soo decides to return to the organ trafficking hideout where he was taken and where his eye was removed. He wants to find his missing eye. However, the criminals recognize him and begin chasing him. While running for his life, Dong-soo is helped by a woman named Lisa, who saves him from the goons. Lisa tells him that she knows who he really is. To confirm it, she takes out a knife and cuts his leg. The wound heals instantly. Before Lisa can ask more questions, Dong-soo escapes. The scene shifts, and through Dong-soo's vision, We see a sketchbook that explains the entire process of killing people and turning them into statues. This confirms that the man who has Dong-su's eye is the same person responsible for all the statue murders. In the next scene, a woman named Rang is shown getting ready for work while listening to Dong-su's viral song. When she reaches her workplace, she sees a large crowd gathered around a newly discovered human statue. Rang meets her team leader and secret crush, Mr. Jin, who is arrogant and cold. To get his attention, Rang hums Dong-su's song. Suddenly, Jin feels unbearable pain in his EYE.at. The same moment Jin feels pain, Dong-su also feels intense pain in his eye after hearing the song. Through Jin's eye, Dong-su sees Rang standing in front of him. This is when the truth is finally revealed. The person who has Dong-su's missing eye is none other than Mr. Jin. The same man responsible for all the murders in the city.it is also revealed that Dong-su's eyes can recognize his song. Whenever the song plays, both eyes connect telepathically, allowing Dong-su to see everything Jin sees. That night, Dong-su again receives a vision through Jin's eye. He sees Jin's sketchbook and notices a word written inside it, corpse art. Dong-su still has no idea what the killer looks like or where he hides. To understand the meaning of the PL symbol, Dong-su visits a special astrologer. He also tells her the dates of the recent murders. After checking everything, the astrologer tells him that the dates are connected, and the next connected date is tomorrow. She warns him that another murder will happen, and that date is December 25th. Dong-su is terrified. He wants to stop the murder, but doesn't know where it will happen. On the other side, Rang goes to Mr. Jin's house because she is deeply attracted to him. They become intimate. Afterward, Jin goes to take a shower, while Rang starts wandering around his house. That's when she finds Jin's sketchbook. As she flips through it, she realizes the horrifying truth. The person behind all the murders is Mr. Jin himself, and he is extremely cunning. The next day, another murder happens in the city. A new human statue appears and a large crowd gathers, including the police and even some organ traffickers. Dong-su is also present. As soon as the traffickers recognize him, they start chasing him. They nearly kill Dong-su, but Lisa suddenly arrives and saves him. Lisa tells Dong-su that she is a novelist writing a book called Connect, which is about superhumans whose body parts can heal even after being destroyed. Because Lisa saved his life, Dong-su thanks her, and they exchange phone numbers before going their separate ways. Rang, who is extremely scared, tries to tell her colleague about Jin's sketchbook. But before she can finish, Jin arrives. He takes Rang to the terrace, where she confronts him and reveals that she knows everything about the past murders and the upcoming ones. Meanwhile, Rang's colleague secretly listens to their conversation. Suddenly, his phone rings. Jin notices this and brutally kills him right in front of Rang's eyes. Rang collapses in shock. Her phone starts ringing and her ringtone is Dong-su's famous song. As the song plays, both Dong-su and Jin feel unbearable pain in their eyes. Through the vision, Dong-su sees Jin brutally murdering Rang and realizes that Jin has now committed 2 murders at once. Dong-su rushes toward the building, but by the time he arrives, everything is already over. Chaos spreads through the office, and the police arrive. Dong-su follows Jin's coat into the restroom but never sees his face. Instead, the police arrive and arrest Dong-su, believing he is the killer, and this is where Season 1 ends. If you want Season 2 explained, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to @Horror Unraveled Movie Explains, like the video, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads. His phone rings. Jin notices this and brutally kills him right in front of Rang's eyes. Rang collapses in shock. Her phone starts ringing and her ringtone is Dong-su's famous song. As the song plays, both Dong-su and Jin feel unbearable pain in their eyes. Through the vision, Dong-su sees Jin brutally murdering Rang and realizes that Jin has now committed 2 murders at once. Dong-su rushes toward the building, but by the time he arrives, everything is already over. Chaos spreads through the office, and the police arrive. Dong-su follows Jin's coat into the restroom but never sees his face. Instead, The police arrive and arrest Dong-soo, believing he is the killer. Dong-soo is taken into custody. The police believe he is the murderer because he was running through the building at the time of the crime. Dong-soo tries to explain that the real murder happened inside the restroom, but no one listens to him. He is beaten badly in jail because the police think he is responsible for all the killings. Dong-soo keeps saying that he is not the killer, but that he knows who the killer is. Inspector Young eventually takes Dong-soo to the rooftop and questions him privately. Dong-soo finally reveals that the killer's next target is not an adult, but 3 young schoolgirls who are going to be murdered next. Inspector Young asks how Dong-soo knows this. Dong-soo tells him the truth, that one of his eyes is inside Mr. Jean, which is why he can see everything Jean sees. The inspector doesn't believe him at first. To prove it, Dong-soo breaks his own arm in front of the inspector. Within seconds, the broken arm completely heals. Seeing this with his own eyes, the inspector is left in shock and finally believes Dong-soo. To catch the killer, Dong-soo jumps directly off the building, knowing that even if his bones break, his body will heal instantly. Meanwhile, Mr. Jean goes to confront the surgeon who performed the transplant. He brutally beats the doctor and forces him to reveal the truth. In a flashback, we see that Jean was once in terrible condition due to cancer. He promised the surgeon a large amount of money to secretly treat him without telling anyone. However, the surgeon decided to experiment and transplanted Dong-soo's eye into Jean without fully explaining the consequences. As the surgeon tells him everything, Jean becomes furious, believing the doctor betrayed him. In rage, Jean kills the surgeon. Soon after, the organ traffickers arrive looking for the doctor and check the CCTV footage. Through this, they find clear evidence against Mr. Jean. At the same time, Dong-soo and Lisa are searching for Jean. Lisa encounters a man named Vam, who was hired by the organ traffickers to find Jean. A violent fight breaks out, and Lisa overpowers and kills him. On the other side, Dong-soo is extremely happy because his favorite singer, his idol, wants to launch Dong-soo's song and meet him. Dong-soo feels like his dream is finally coming true. But the moment the song plays, Dong-soo's eyes connect again, and he sees Jean writing down a phone number. Dong-soo calls the number, and for the first time, the 2 rivals speak directly. During the call, Dong-soo asks Jean why he is doing all this. Jean reveals the truth: he has terminal cancer. If he cannot live, he wants to take others with him. He believes death should be shared. Jean coldly says that this is only the beginning and that many more brutal deaths are coming. Meanwhile, the police find Vam's body and gather strong evidence against Jean. When Lisa later meets Dong-soo, she cuts her own neck slightly, and the wound heals instantly. This reveals that Lisa is also a connect, just like Dong-soo. Dong-soo is shocked. The 2 slowly grow closer, realizing there may be others like them. They share their first kiss and believe they are not alone in the world. At the same time, Jean disguises himself exactly like Dong-soo and kidnaps Dong-soo's idol singer. He warns Dong-soo that if he does not arrive at the location by 11 p.m., the singer will be killed. The organ traffickers find Dong-soo again, but Lisa tells him to run while she handles them. During the fight, one of the goons cuts Lisa's face, but it heals instantly. Seeing this, the traffickers realize Lisa is also extremely valuable and try to capture her. However, Lisa kills them all and escapes. The police now fully understand Jin's plan after checking CCTV footage from the singer's parking area. They realize Jean is impersonating Dong-soo to frame him. Dong-soo reaches the location Jean mentioned. He knows Jean cannot fight physically and only enjoys terrifying people. Jean suddenly releases gas, knocking Dong-soo unconscious. Jean ties him up in his car and says that he feels peace when people tremble in fear before him. Meanwhile, Lisa goes to awaken another connect like herself and Dong-soo, telling him that it is time to wake up. Jean brings Dong-soo to a place where the kidnapped singer is tied up. The dead surgeon's body is also hanging there, soon to be turned into another statue. Seeing the singer in such a condition breaks Dong-soo's heart. Jean explains his final plan. He wants to transplant his brain into Dong-soo's immortal body so he can live forever. To test it, Jean cuts off Dong-su's finger and attaches it to the singer's hand. The finger heals instantly. Jean is thrilled, knowing his plan will work. He places both Dong-su and the singer into a freezer. The singer dies, filling Dong-su with uncontrollable rage. Fueled by anger, Dong-su breaks free from the freezer. At the same time, Lisa arrives with the awakened Connect. A massive fight breaks out between Dong-su, Lisa, and Jean. Jean fires multiple gunshots at Dong-su, but Dong-su keeps healing instantly. No matter how many times he is shot, he does not fall. In the final moment, Dong-su rips out his missing eye from Jean, finally becoming whole again. He is about to kill Jean, but Inspector Young arrives and stops him. The inspector promises to erase Dong-su's criminal record and tells him to start a new life. Dong-su and Lisa believe everything is finally over and begin to leave together. But suddenly, military helicopters arrive. The government has learned about the existence of the Connects. Soldiers surround Dong-su and Lisa and arrest them both, and this is where Season 1 ends. What happens next? What will the government do with the Connects? We will find out in Season 2. If you want Season 2 explained, tell me in the comments. Subscribe, like the video, and press the bell icon so you never miss an update.